Hello there, welcome back to my channel Haro Hobby Gaming, and in this episode of Ifecos, I'm gonna introduce to all of you the Type B and Type A modules or weapons, and the examples for this Type B and Type A for this time is the railguns, Snapnose 1, and Shield Booster and Adaptive Field. Okay, now let's take a look with what we have here in inventory. Uh, if you can look at that, you can see this is core C type, this is core B type, and this is core A type. There is core X type too on the database, but I'm not showing them now. But we'll see how much differences of attack between C or B or A. And if you are the online veteran, of course you know where to find them, but I don't know if on the a course it's going to be the same or not. But I think if they are going to be the same, core B type or core A type can be found on scan dead space. And let's wait for that, and let's wait for official announcement, because on the roadmap there is a dead space update and maybe scan anomaly on, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's on June. Yes, it's on June. They're gonna have an update on dead space. Maybe they are gonna update more hard or dead space, or maybe scan anomaly. We don't know. But yes, this is introduction only, and yes, you can see there is a C type, B type, and A type. Let's take a look what's the differences between them. Okay, for the C type, let's take a look. The base DPS is 75.67. Let's take a look at core B type. The base DPS is 77. And if we compare them, it's just different about 1.4 DPS. But what about the core A type? The core B type is 77.03 and the core A type is 78.3. So it's just difference about 1.27 DPS. It is not that huge differences between all of them. So I think if you have enough money, or if you can afford the core C type, of course you can use the core C type, of course. And yes, it will be very rare on the first time they are show up on the live server, of course. And yes, okay, and now let's take a look at another example is large shield booster. There is a C type, B type, and A type. The C type shield boost amount about 914. At the B type, there's 961. So it's just different about 57 point of shield boost amount. And for the A type, look at that, 1011. So the differences is just about 50 point. It's not very big, of course, or huge. Okay, now let's take a look at another example for C type, B type, and A type is this adaptive field. And for the C type, all of them is 36.49, and for the B type is 37.03%. It's just difference about 0.60%. Yes, and for the A type, 37.52. The difference is very small. Just the A type and the B type, just differences is 0.5 49%. So that's not very huge differences between all of them. So all of them will just have a little upgrades on your ship, but still, if you are skilled enough and if you are dueling someone with A type or B type, just don't be afraid. But if they are very skilled, of course there will be very big differences in damage or in defense. Okay, now if we look at our fitting at this Vindicator, this is equipped by core A-type large snub-nose railgun with DPS about 331. What about B-type? Let's take a look. Before, the A-type is 331. For the B-type, let's take a look. If we fit this, the DPS differences is just 5 numbers for 5 points. So it's not very big. And for the C-type, you can look at this. It's 320. So between C-type and A-type, there is just 11 DPS differences between them. So it's not very very huge differences between B or C or A. But yes, that's it. That's the introduction for the C type, B type, and A type modules. Maybe they will update on that space update later on June or June. If I'm not wrong, sorry if I'm wrong, I forget about that. But that's it. That's the introduction for B type and A type. And maybe we will try these A type modules to combat demonstration. Let's go. Okay, now let's do the combat demonstration for this Vindicator. Hey, before that, I'm seeing some database too, and there are some officer modules, I think. And I'm using one of them, and this is the Webifier. You can look at that. There is Tobias Stasis Webifier, and there is another Webifier too. And let's take a look at our personal assets. Okay. 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 Ah, this is it. There is Tobias large afterburner. The and for the faction or dead space modules, there will be plus icon on their corner, and for the officer, I think there will be star on their corner. And yes, this is it. This is the officer Webifier we have, and there is Mizuro, there is Hakim, there is Kotan, and there is Tobias. And the differences between them is the optimal range and the strength. Yes, you can look for the Mizuro. The strength of flight velocity adjustment is minus 67% and optimal range 19 kilometers. And if we compare to our Predator stasis Webifier, flight velocity adjustment for Predator is minus 61% and optimal range 14.8 kilometer. So the differences for optimal range is very huge. And this is crazy, I think, for officer stasis Webifier. And for the differences again, there is a Gotan, yes, Gotan stasis Webifier, meta level 17, flight velocity adjustment minus 68%, and optimal range 20.2 kilometers. And I think the strongest is Tobias, 69%, flight velocity adjustment, and optimal range 20.8 kilometers. There's a slight differences between Godan and Tobias, but we will try to use the Tobias stasis Webifier. And if you look at our stasis Webifier here, after bonus is, look at that, flight velocity adjustment is minus 103.5%. Is that make the ship we hit with stasis Webifier to 0 kilometers? I don't know, but optimal range is 31.2 kilometers. That's that's a little crazy. So if any of you asking why the adjustment for flight velocity is very large, that's because the Vindicator bonus is the stasis Webifier and strength and stasis Webifier optimal range. This is the best ship for tackling, and yes, of course, the warp disruptor optimal range is crazy. It's about 14 kilometers. Okay, now let's try with this setup to combat demonstration. Bait Hair Day 2. There's still no other anomalies or dungeon or you name it or dead space, but let's try to warp Bait Hair Day at 0. Let's setting this auto orbit 0, auto attack. Okay, let's do that.
Warp drive active.
Okay, I'm not gonna move an inch from this area. Let's do that. Okay, look at that condor there. Let's observe. This is very fast, and click. Look at that. If we reset our camera, it's look like he stopped. Okay, yes, he stopped with this Tobias Webifier. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, let's hit them. Of course, it's just one hit. Okay, let's try to web that destroyer. One hit. Okay. Look at that. It's almost, the enemy is not moving at all. It's a little bit crazy. Look at that. It's just move an inch. Okay. Let's set approach at 10 kilometers. Okay. Yes, I think with 103% 0.5 in signature, in velocity adjustment for enemies, it makes the enemies stop. Okay, that's a little crazy. For the damage of this snap-nose railgun, I think there's not not much differences between the C-type we have already tested on another video, but for this official Webifier, it's crazy. Yes. Okay, this is 29 kilometers and we already can use our Webifier to web the enemies. Okay, let's observe. The booster of the enemies is turned on, but you can look at that. They're they are not moving at all. Okay. That's a little bit crazy about this officer Webifier. Maybe if they are updated the dead space, I think we must test them. Okay. Okay, that's it. That's for the combat demonstration for the B-type, or for the A-type weapons, or for the officers Webifier, or the adaptive field type A, and there's not much differences between C-type, B-type, and A-type, but yes, the web is very crazy. Okay. Thank you for watching my video, and if you like this video, please press like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. And if you want anything to be reviewed by me or anything to be tested on this test server, please comment and I will gladly make it for you. And that's it. Once again, I'm saying thank you for watching my video and see you on the next video. Bye bye.